Hi everyone, this is Sean here. I'm just going to do a quick tutorial on layers for my painting. So as I showed in the last tutorial, to remove the sketch pad from each picture is quite easy. So I've removed the sketchbook and all we have is these nice clean lines. Now what I've done, if you can see down here on the right in Photoshop, is create different layers. Now layers allow you to slowly build up a painting and make sure you don't, let's say, paint into different areas, overlap, and it just helps keep the colors separate so you can paint more freely and you're not always erasing and blurring, and it's really good. So what I do, you start from the foreground out. So I have my sky. Well, my background is just my background. I like to keep it separate just in case. It's our white background. See? So I want the sky is the furthest in the background, back here. Then I want the ground, let's say down here. What's on top of that? I would actually say their skin is the next thing. So their skin for the three of them. And then what's on top of your skin? It's your clothes, the chainmail for the two boys. What's on top of chainmail and hair? It would be sorry, it would be clothes. I also want to do their chainmail and their swords and weapons on this layer because they're kind of separate and nothing should overlap them. Hair is next. Hair, actually, that's not true. After clothes, I want to make another layer called armor. I forgot the armor for the boys. Okay, so now the boys are done. So the boys' armor, then their hair, then horns and belts, like her belt, his horns are kind of annoying, so I keep them on a separate layer because as I'm filling in shading and stuff, I don't want to have to keep removing or going over the horn layer separate. Um, okay, hair. I'll make that her crown also because her crown actually would be in her hair area, and it'll just be much easier to keep them separate. And it's on top of the hair layer. So no matter what I do to the hair, the crown will always be on top. Next, I call it flame on. It's the fireball, which is on top of everything. And then I may or may not have a lighting layer. I'll play with it. I'll just make it anyway, just in case. A lighting, and I see a lighting layer because I might do some kind of lighting effects with the fire to kind of illuminate their faces a bit better or worse. I don't know. Um, and then on top of everything, as always, is our sketch lines, which I took from the sketch pad. These are they're actually transparent, so it's actually only the black lines. If I was to turn off the background, you'd see. Um, so basically, they're just my guidelines. I can go under them, over them, etc., etc. Now, so that's the layers done, which is really important. First step. So save it. Now, next you can start doing block colors for those particular layers. So sky, and let's just fill with my sky color. All right, it looks pretty crazy, but you can turn it on and off if it's annoying you for doing the rest of the colors, which I will. The ground, which is just here, let's just quickly grab like a big fat brush. Not this one. This is a watercolor. I don't want a watercolor brush. Why? This is very odd. My workspace has changed. Sorry, brush view. It's my fault now. Sorry, I should have all this ready. Okay. Let's just go with this big brush. Make sure the opacity is high, and we'll just do a brown, a very quick brown for the floor. Right. You can even turn the brush up higher and just put down a layer of solid block color. Like again, remember the flame is going to be on top of everything, so it doesn't matter if I, let's say, paint over the lines or whatever. It's fine. Um, so yeah, here we go. I have the window open here, so if you hear the traffic, I'm sorry. Okay, so now the floor is done. Wonderful. So save that. Next layer. It's really quick. Her skin, everybody's skin. Her skin is a bit lighter than theirs, I think. Uh, yeah, I think I made it a shade lighter. So we'll do the boys. We'll do the boys first because I just use a standard swatch, which I've always used since the start. So which is maybe a good or bad idea, but I'm not going to go back and change everyone now. So again, just a black color. Now you can use a smart tool because inked it, my lines are very clear. So I can actually just select really quickly all the skin areas that I need for the two boys. That's perfect. Now, this is called, because I don't want a white line. See the dotted ends that are dotting around, right? If you if you don't expand the lines by a couple of pixels, you'll end up with a white line right at the border of your black, which is very, very, it's just waste of time. So you expand the selection by 3 pixels or 4 pixels, and it'll actually go into the just under the area of your sketch lines. Um, so you don't get any kind of ugly white lines. So yeah, see how quick that is? The boys are done. Now her skin tone is much lighter, so I'll just grab it from here, save me trying to recreate the palette or whatever. So I'll select her now with the magic tool, so it should, oh, that's not good. I don't want all of her. So what I can do, just to save time rather than painting it all in, I can go back to my sketch layer and basically just add a sketch, like sketch in the lines that are missing. So because the Smart Tool looks for like a barrier, so if your lines are not closed, it will go through them. In Illustrator, it's not so big a deal actually. Adobe Illustrator, you can do gap, gap detection and stuff. This should be okay. Okay. Hands, neck, ear. Okay, so now we can lock that again. Lock transparent. Skin. Double check. Always make sure you're checking your layers, because if you do the stuff in the wrong layers and it all gets mixed up, it's like a losing battle, because you just have to go back and do everything. Some artists, like one of my favorite artists, Lois, she doesn't use too many layers, but I find I'm not very good, so I kind of have to, unfortunately. So, okay, I've got her skin pigment. So now I'm going to edit, fill. Oh wait, no, did I expand? I think I expanded. Yeah, I did. Fill, color, this swatch. See, it's just this, because she's actually a ghost. Okay, that's wonderful. So now I'll just very quickly do the next one, skin. Like basically what I want to show you more than just, doing all the coloring and showing you that, which you can kind of see in one of the faster videos, is to just show you clipping masks, which is basically what makes the layers, keeping layers so useful, at least to me. So let's say we have this base color. Now I'm just going to show you, just for an example, his armor, right? Now obviously you wouldn't want to make it too tedious by having to paint over everything. So let's just say I select his armor, check I'm on the armor layer, right? Let's just quickly grab some armor parts. Choo, choo. Actually, I can just do them all when I'm here. Oh, except for that one. Right, so let's just say, oh, crud. I can remove that one here. This is just, again, for example, let's add this one. I forgot to draw something here, but it's fine, it's fine. Okay, I'll do it properly later. So we'll fill this in his armor color. Now, this is clipping masks. Now, this is one of the coolest things. Look, see, it's gone into his eyebrow, but that's fine. We'll change that. Now, let's just save it. Now, clipping masks are so cool. It's to stop you from, let's say, going over the lines. So whatever I've painted on the skin layer, let's just shade his skin, right? So here's his skin, right? It's actually, if I hide the armor, I haven't painted in that area, right? If you create another layer as a clipping mask of the skin layer here, right? Create clipping mask. There's a number you can edit to make a clipping mask. So this is now a new layer that exists only on top of this skin layer, and you can only let's just grab this color just for example. I'll undo this and do it properly when I'm going to paint it. So now that I've selected this layer, see, I'm drawing on the armor. It doesn't matter, you know. I'm drawing anywhere. It doesn't actually work. But look, it will only affect his skin, the layer that it's clipped to. So if I wanted to shade the ground but not have to keep worrying about making a mess of the fire, or if I wanted to shade her dress and I don't want the, let's say, splatter effects or shine effects to go onto her legs and then I have to erase them or paint over them, clipping masks. It'll just, when I've discovered them, it just like changed everything, changed the game. Um, yeah, see? So now if I wanted to do the armor, let's say the next step, and I didn't, and I've just spent 2 hours doing his skin. So I don't want to have to mess. Once I get his skin perfect, shading tone, I'm so happy. I don't want anything to touch it around it. So I just go to my armor layer on the bottom, create a clipping mask, which is just layer, new layer, use previous layer to create clipping mask. Now the armor layer will not affect, see, I'm actually going right through, right? So you can see that the paint effect doesn't affect the skin layer, which is great. So now I can do splatter effects, cool shine, shadows, and everything, and they don't affect the skin, only the armor layer, right? So that's basically how I do it. It speeds everything up. It just makes everything so much less frustrating, especially if you're doing shading or lighting or anything like that. It won't blend or uh, cover over stuff that you've worked hard and a long time to do, and then you'll have to go back over and it'll never be right again. You can focus on one specific area, the skin. Like I can just work so hard to get the skin as the way I want it, and then just move on to her hair and not have to worry that what I'm doing to her hair is going to splatter or spread or blur onto her skin. And it just makes the whole process much better. So that's clipping masks, everyone. It's basically the foundation of how I paint anyway. From there on, it's just using different brushes and just going into the different layers. Pretty much after I do all my base color, like the grays, the skin color, I get everything done in the right base color, and then I just shade and highlight and texture them in separate layers. I create all the shading, all the extra effects on separate clipping masks, and it just makes everything awesome. Some people don't like doing it because it's too fussy, but I just think for me in the long run, it's much better. I don't have to do any erasing. I don't have to paint over. So it's awesome. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoy, guys, and I hope to do more of these as little techniques and stuff that I learn because I'm still learning too. Okay.